So, did you know most Baki characters are actually based off of real people? And yes, even this guy is based off of a real living person. But before I start today's video, let me know in the comment section below, who do you think would be the best businessman from Baki? And who better to start off with than Baki himself? And Baki Hanma is actually based off of an MMA fighter named Naoki Taira, who was trained in boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and karate. And this guy would even do some fights where there were no gloves, just bare knuckle. Naoki was an incredibly animated fighter, as well as this guy being incredibly good at getting people into a submission. And he also had very powerful kicks, and if these kicks connected, they would injure his opponent most likely instantly, with one of his kicks even making his opponent drop to the ground while holding his eye. But his career was short, with him going 6-0 with 5 of those wins being by submission. And even the legend himself, Yuichiro Hanma, was based off of a Japanese professional wrestler, Masahiko Kimura, who is widely considered as the greatest judoka of all time. This man Kimura won the All Japan Judo Championships 3 times in a row for the first time in history. And also, he had never lost a judo match from 1936 to 1950. That is 14 years without ever losing, as well as Kimura being ranked 7th dan in judo, making him a master of his craft. Kimura began training judo at the young age of 9, and he was promoted to Yandan, 4th dan, at the age of 15. He had even defeated 6 opponents in a row, and in 1935, at the age of 18, he became the youngest ever Godan in history, which is also a 5th degree black belt. And he even has his own technique that is widely used across the MMA world, known as the Kimura chokehold. This technique attacks multiple joints in the opponent's body, including the shoulder and wrist. But sadly, disease is the downfall of any man, and Kimura died on April 18, 1993. After a long battle with lung cancer, Kimura passed away at the age of 75. And of course, the legendary swordsman Musashi Miyamoto is based off of Miyamoto Musashi, a Japanese ronin, swordsman, and philosopher. Musashi had even went undefeated with an impressive record of 62-0, never losing a duel in his 61 years of life. Musashi had began his career as a fighter very early in life, and Musashi had began his fighting career in fact so young that he had killed a man at the age of 13 in one-on-one combat. Musashi is regarded as the deadliest ronin in history, and Miyamoto Musashi had a very powerful philosophy of self-discipline that's continuing to affect people today. Musashi believed that the path to mastery was one that encompassed the mind, body, and spirit, leading to Musashi completely devoting himself to whatever he wanted to master, such as his two-sworded technique, Ni Ten Ichi Ryu. But yet again, no matter how strong or powerful somebody is, disease can lead to the demise of anybody. And Miyamoto Musashi died of what is to believe thoracic cancer. And Biscuit Oliva was based off of a professional bodybuilder named Sergio Oliva, who has won the 1966 Mr. World and Mr. Olympia from 1967 to 1969. That's 3 consecutive Mr. Olympia wins in a row, and this guy has won far too much for me to list all of them out. Even debatably the best bodybuilder in history, Arnold, said, "For the first time I saw Sergio Oliva in person, I understood why they called him the Myth. It was as jarring as if I'd walked into a wall. He destroyed me. He was so huge, he was so fantastic. There was no way I could even think about beating him. I admitted my defeat and felt some of my pumps go away. And the fact that Sergio made one of the most notorious bodybuilders of all time feel small speaks volumes for him." And sadly, Sergio Oliva died on November 12, 2012 in Chicago, Illinois from apparent kidney failure. And do you remember Sam Atlas? Well, he was based off of a monster of a man, Brock Lesnar, an American professional wrestler turned mixed martial artist. This man was a WWE champion and one of the best antagonists in WWE history. But that wasn't enough for Brock Lesnar, so he joined the UFC and then he became a UFC heavyweight champion. And Brock was taking the same things as Jack Hanma. But that's besides the point. He was dominating his opponents with his giant weight and steroided up muscles. And he then went back to the WWE and began dominating yet again. And Dappo, the god of war, was based off of a martial artist named Masoyama, who was a South Korean karate master, and Ryu from Street Fighter was actually inspired by Masoyama, as the game designer Takashi Nishiyama was actually a fan of his. Masoyama also founded the Kyokushin karate style, which is considered the first and most influential style of full-contact karate. Kyokushin karate is rooted in a philosophy of self-improvement, discipline, and hard training, and this form of karate was straight up brutal. Kyokushin is a hard form of karate, meaning that it uses more force to repel an attack than judo, one of the softer forms of karate, which is designed to just put your attacker in a worse position than they started in. And Oyama died at the age of 70 in Tokyo, Japan on April 26, 1994 due to lung cancer. And spec, yes, this guy was based off of a human that has walked on this earth. Soviet-Ukrainian serial killer Andrei Chikatilo, nicknamed the Butcher of Rostov, the Rostov Ripper, and the Red Ripper, sexually assaulted, murdered, and mutilated at least 52 women and children between 1978 and 1990. With his reign of terror only coming to an end because he was caught on surveillance. And crazily enough, his last words before being executed were apparently, "Don't blow my brains out, the Japanese want to buy them," which is honestly kinda accurate because he was used by a Japanese writer for his manga, and just like that, the Red Ripper was executed by gunshot. And also, as wild as it sounds, Pickle was based off of real-life pickles, mainly because of pickles being able to preserve things for a long amount of time, which is basically Pickle's entire character in a nutshell. Then we have one of my personal favorite characters from the Baki series so far, Jun Guevara, who was based off of a guy named Che Guevara. Guevara joined the Castro's 26th of July movement and played a key role in the eventual success of its guerrilla warfare against Cuban dictator. Castro overthrew Batista in 1959 and took power in Cuba. From 1959 to 1961, Guevara was president of the National Bank of Cuba, and then he became the Minister of Industry. Guevara fought and died for his beliefs. When on October 9, 1967, the Bolivian army captured Guevara, as well as all of his fighters, and then they proceeded to sadly be executed. But once again, let me know in the comment section below, who do you think would be the best businessman nowadays from Baki? For me personally, I would have to go with Mr. Tokugawa. And if you enjoyed today's video and would like to support me, then you can leave a like and subscribe. It's completely free on your end and helps me out way more than you may think. And if you would like to interact with meme like community, show off your art, drop some memes, just talk in general, or maybe even self-promote, then you can join the Discord that can be found in the description box below. But that's gonna be all for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!